Hi, I'm Terry Murphy for Realty Times Women in Business, Women in Real Estate, and my fave, In the Men's Room with Murph. And my guest today is Michael White, famous mortgage coach, over 20 years helping people earn billions of dollars in 1 year on loans and working with realtors in a strategic way that gives the client and the customer the ultimate experience. Mike is a coach. We know that things have changed in the lending industry rather significantly over the years. We've been doing this almost 20 years. And now these buyer approval letters, there's a little bit of confusion. I think this would be a great time for you to clear up why all buyer approval letters are not the same.
Well, Terry, it's really interesting. The business has changed and there's very little standardization in the mortgage side when it comes to phraseology or terms. So one of the things that I warn my people about, or I have them warn their referral partners about, is whether you're a buyer's agent or a listing agent or doing both, the pre-approval letter that you're making decisions on, whether it be to accept an offer from somebody on one of your listings or to take the time to actually show them property and what types of property to show them, can often be a real challenge if you don't know about what that pre-approval or that pre-qualification or whatever thing they bring you to say, I've talked to somebody. And let's be honest, in today's day and age, you can go online and, like I like to say, the 8 minutes, the fastest way to a bad decision, right? Nothing good in this world ever happens in 8 minutes. So why don't we just forget about making one of the most critical financial decisions in our life based upon an 8-minute conversation with an algorithm? So as realtors, you really have to put yourself in a position to say, hey, who wrote this letter? Who issued the letter? What kind of credentials do they have? And for many of the realtors out there, they've got personal experience. They know who not to do business with, right? They've had a deal blow up at the closing table. They've had a bad experience. They know the list of people, but they don't know the list of people as well, or they don't have a list of people that they can turn to say, hey, I don't recognize this name. I don't recognize this company. Well, one of the things that you can do is really take a look at that pre-approval letter and see what it says. Read the words. In some cases, the letter itself will explain to you what that person did to come to the conclusion that they came to. In others, there'll be an estimate of what they think or a price range that they think this person will qualify for. The important piece here is are they actually a lender? Do they have actually any capability of actually lending money? Remember, in today's marketplace, there are 3 ways that people can obtain mortgage financing. They can get it directly from a bank. They can get it from a correspondent lender, somebody who has a mortgage company that has its own money and own credit lines and funds those loans and then sells them into the secondary market or passes them straight through into any of the government agencies. And then there are the brokers. And to be honest with you, all 3 channels have really great people working with them, and they also have a series of suspects, if you will. The important part is you have to know, because how quickly do you need this to turn around? What's the reputation on the company as far as being able to, can they close the loan in 10, 15, 20 days? What's been your experience when you have somebody like that? We know if somebody doesn't have any ability to lend money, and let's just talk about the broker channel for now, that those are companies of very reputable people, but they don't have anybody in their office who actually makes the decision about lending the money, and they actually don't have any money that they're allowed to give you. They're providing from a third-party provider. The same thing with the correspondent lenders. The correspondent lenders are there. Their only job is mortgage. They don't do credit cards or car loans or whatever. So the person who's the correspondent lender is the person whose sole business is mortgage. And then you've got the bank, and the bank could have its own mortgage professional, or it could have a loan officer at the bank who also does car loans and credit cards. You don't really know. So the thing is when you get that pre-approval letter, you either know who the person is or the company is where that was issued from, or you should have at least one person in your Rolodex. I'm dating myself because all the youngsters out there have no idea what a Rolodex is, but you should have somebody on speed dial in your phone, or you can text to say, have you ever heard of this person? And in lieu of being able to do that, let me give you a very simple trick. Anybody who issues a pre-approval letter should have their name, their company name, and their license number. If you got a pre-approval letter and the person's license number, it doesn't say NMLS number, whatever under it, number one, run like hell, because then they're a non-licensed individual, and that's the least of the bad things that could happen. But if they have that NMLS number on there where it's supposed to be, here's a trick. Go to nmls.com and enter in that license number. It will tell you how long this person has been in the business. Because do you really want to make a critical decision if you run that number and 6 months ago this person was flipping burgers at McDonald's or making pizzas at the, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it may or may not make them a bona fide professional. And so for all those people that are out there, and with the younger people that I work with, in many cases, a new loan officer, that pre-approval letter will actually be issued by somebody more senior than them that has worked through it. So there's nothing wrong with working with, just like with a brand new real estate agent. You want to give new people a chance, but they're generally being supervised in the real estate side by a broker, in the mortgage side by a manager or a more senior level person, because the value in the letter is based upon the likelihood that the deal is going to close, because ultimately it's all a lot of fun and games, but if the money doesn't show up at the closing table, we've got a problem.
We do. And it makes sense, Michael, that everybody, again, we have the trusted relationships so that we know that we're secure in the fact that they're experts in their field, and we want to ask the right questions. So if you're an agent listening to this and somebody brings you a pre-approval letter, take a look and see, are they really pre-approved? Because if it's a tough market, if it's a fast market, especially with inventory going fast, and I think with the surge of what, being sequestered for a while, I think it's going to be really intense, and it's the people that are ready going to be able to handle it. Do your homework, be the ultimate professional, work with a lender that you know, like, and trust, and vice versa. And your people will most likely have a successful closing. Would you agree?
Absolutely, Terry. The old carpenter's expression, measure twice and cut once.
That's so perfect. It is, but we're using all these old sayings, Michael.
Because I'm old. I mean,
Listen,
if I was younger, I'd have new sayings, but this is all I get.
Well, Michael, I know that people watching or listening will want to contact you. What's the best way to do that?
You can reach out through the website. It's imtcoaching.com. You can take a look around. There's a lot of good free information that you can have access to. If you've got a personal question, or if you're looking for something specific, some help, or potentially coaching or training for you or your people, reach out to me by email. That's the fastest way generally to reach me. It's mike@imtcoaching.com, and I'll be happy to help you out.
So Michael, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a coach, we really want to thank you for giving your time to Realty Times today and to helping all of our people. I'm hoping you'll join us again for another segment.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm Terry Murphy for Realty Times. Thanks for joining us.